So we're live.
We're live. Hello.
We're live. I know. New streaming software, and I'm just double checking that we're live.
Okay, good. So we're live. So that story was quite libelous you're about to tell there, Sparky, so don't tell that one. Anyway, here we go. Welcome to Loose Dads. It is another Tuesday night stream, 8:30. That's where we are, streaming live on the Dadsnet Facebook page and on our YouTube channel and all that sort of stuff as well. But you can catch up with this at any time. You might be listening on Spotify in the year 2031. So, it's a broad church. We've got loads of different people. Now,
we definitely are. Sorry, we definitely are live on YouTube.
Oh,
I've been there. I've seen it. We're live on YouTube.
Okay, good to know.
My Wi-Fi can't handle it, so you better check. I won't check Facebook.
I can't see us live on Facebook, but maybe we are.
Hey, who knows? We're doing a podcast anyway, right? Let me introduce you.
Do you want me to see if the? Sorry, I keep interrupting you. You want me to see if the buttons work here?
Yeah, I was going to say we've not really planned this, have we? We didn't really talk about how it worked. I just assumed it would work like the other thing we used. Yeah, give it a go.
Well, I tell you what. Just before we officially start, I'm going to post a link to the YouTube in the Facebook group,
right?
Just in case.
And also, whilst this is not part of the actual podcast, and I'm assuming you're going to cut this bit out, right?
Oh yes.
Can we see people's comments and stuff anywhere?
On Facebook.
Right. We have to actually go. We have to second screen it.
I know.
Wow.
I'm not sure my internet can handle that.
I've got a second screen. I can throw in some comments and stuff.
Cool. This is Dadsnet cuts in action. This
is the real behind the real behind the curtain stuff that people like to see. Normally you'd have to pay for a Patreon to see this, but we are live, working it out as we go, guys.
Can I just say the Patreon stuff's better than this? Please.
Terms and conditions apply. It might not be better.
Please pay for it. It won't just be 3 confused men on the internet. It might be 4 confused men on the internet some weeks. Right. Are we gonna try?
Let's start. Let's pretend like we haven't just done 3 minutes of absolute turd.
But this is the thing, because it takes people a while to find it, doesn't it? So
it does. Yeah.
I'm sorry for the people who tomorrow see this going, oh, they were live, right? I'll have a look. Oh, what is this? 3 minutes of bollocks.
Yeah.
Really playing
Stick with it.
This is like me trying to show my dad Microsoft Excel for the first time. What's happening? What's happening?
Okay, right. I'm going to hit a button, and theoretically, we will hear some music.
We can't hear any music.
This is the worst.
Where is the power button?
This is, I would say, a retrograde step.
But if you needed a smile this week with all the depression that's been going on, you're definitely getting one.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the Loose Dads podcast.
Hello and welcome. This is Loose Dads from Dadsnet. Should we do a stop and then make sure there's one that we can have for the audio, so the audio people don't think we're absolute losers?
Okay, yeah, okay.
All
do you want me to redo the?
No, I'd really rather you didn't.
Please don't ever do that again, Jack. Please.
Yeah. Absolutely no. I can imagine it in my brains. Hello and welcome. This is Loose Dads from Dadsnet. I hope you're doing okay. We're answering some big questions of the week from Dadsnet members in a bit. We're looking inside the news. I wonder what the big story of the last few days has been. And we're also going to be playing Parenting Would You Rather. But first of all, let me introduce the panel to you today. Now, there's only 3 of us on this week's show. Brad is off scuba diving, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, this is a hilarious joke, Jim, about Brad scuba diving rather than doing the show. No, he actually genuinely is, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Is he practicing for his? He's got a big special holiday coming up, and he's practicing scuba diving or something.
Yeah, that's it.
So he's in a local community centre swimming pool somewhere.
I think he has to re-get his license or something.
Right.
I don't know.
He doesn't have to jump into a swimming pool in his pajamas and pick up a brick, does he?
Maybe.
That's the only...
Hopefully next week we can get a report back.
We'll get a blow-by-blow account. But because Brad is scuba diving, I thought I would introduce the panel as the water-based animals that they would be. So going for Brad, he'd be the Loch Ness Monster, because we only see him every so often. He hasn't been on for a couple of weeks, has he?
Aye.
We know that Sparky likes to play flight simulators, so he'd be a pilot fish.
Nice.
Yeah. Jack is a chroma crab, right? Am I right?
Yeah, very nice. Thank you.
That's his basketball team.
Yeah.
And you know what? I also looked. There's a jackfish and there's a guitar fish as well. There were so many I could use for you.
Wow. But no, I appreciate the Chroma Crabs reference. That's
Yeah.
good. And if you live in
crabs.
the Norfolk area and fancy giving basketball a go, look up the Chroma Crabs.
We're looking for players.
And I would be a battered cod covered in gravy because I live in Yorkshire. There you go. Right. Let's play a game.
Button.
Jack, don't sing the jingle.
It's game time.
Do you want to play a game?
Did you know that was my voice on that bit of production?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you not? Oh.
No.
Next time you actually hear it, you can
Yeah.
when you listen back to this.
Never going to happen, is it? I've got to sit through it once. I'm not going to sit through it twice.
Again, that's the advert for the podcast. That should be the advert. So good, you'll only sit through it once. Maybe.
So what we do at this point of the show is we play a game, and it could be an old game, a new game, something we've stolen from another podcast, something another podcast has stolen from us. This week, it's Parenting Would You Rather. It makes a return to the podcast. And so it's basically the old game, Would You Rather, but with a parenting twist, like an adult sort of, kind of thing. So what I'd go for here is the question is, would you rather have head lice for a week or threadworm for a day?
What
can
is
you explain,
threadworm?
in detail what threadworm is?
When your child gets an itchy bum, because the little worms inside go down to their, I'm going to say the word anus, and lay a little egg, and it goes,
lay a little egg for me.
Yes, go to work on a little egg, and they scratch their bum, and then they get eggs under their nails, and then they bite their nails, and then the constant, exactly.
Okay, so that's threadworm. What was the other one?
You get that for a day. Okay, so you get an itchy bum for a day. The other is head lice for a week. So your choice.
I think
I'll take
the head lice.
I'll be honest. I didn't think this through when I came up with this question. The one member of this team is unlikely to be affected by head lice.
Yeah, I'll just brush them off.
Yeah, they're ice skating. They're doing like Winter Wonderland ice skating on your head.
Do you think there's someone in the Guinness World Records for the person with the shortest hair ever to get head lice? Like we've got like a 0.5 all over, but they still got in there or something. I don't know.
I'd like to say hello to Connor, who's watching live on YouTube, who pointed out also that I have no worries in this department.
Okay, you get it in your beard then, Jack. Like, okay, that's horrendous. You get head lice in your beard.
Yeah, beard lice. That's
beards are quite itchy anyway. In fact, that's what I'm finding. Do you not find your beards?
I've never found my beard itchy.
Yeah,
everyone always says it, but I've never found it.
Change up your moisturizer, Jim. Maybe.
Yeah.
But you're probably so rugged you don't moisturize your face.
Well, yeah.
So like if you're a man buying moisturizer in Yorkshire, you get run out of town.
Who's this for? The wife?
Yeah.
Do you know? I once went on a stag do, and all the rest of the party went through at the airport. We were flying up to Scotland. All the rest of them went through, no problems. My bag got stopped and searched, and everyone had to wait, and we were almost late for our flight because in my bag I had too many moisturizers.
Man who looks after himself, Jack. I've got to appreciate that.
Exactly.
Suspicious. according to the air company. Obviously, if you want to have head lice for a week and threadworm for a day, then have a child in reception, because that probably is likely to. You've got a very high risk of getting both of those, rather than would you rather. Right, next question. Would you rather put gloves on a toddler on the hour, every day, or put sun cream on a squirming child every hour of every day? So it comes to the top of the hour, it comes to 1 o'clock, and you're like, oh, I have to go and put gloves on a toddler, or I have to go and put sun lotion on a squirming child.
Question:
Which would you rather do?
Does it matter if they take the gloves off? Because you might be able to get the gloves on, but if they take them off in 5 seconds, it still counts as an application, right?
Let's say they need to keep them on for 5 minutes.
Right, sun cream all the way then, because
Right.
That's a game changer. What sun cream are we talking?
there's no way Jackson's keeping the gloves on for more than 30.
No, he's at that age where they don't, isn't he?
But it also, when they can't put them on themselves, and then you try and put them on, but they're like 2 fingers go into 1 finger hole, and you just, that was. I used to think that they would be able to get terrorists to talk by just making them put gloves on a toddler, because I'd much rather give away all of my secrets than ever do that again, and I'm so glad I never have to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it is very stressful. I've found a hack for getting suntan cream on Jackson, though. Advice here coming in. I put it on me. I go, Daddy needs to put some suntan cream on. Will you help me put it on? And I put some on my arm, and then he gets so engrossed in rubbing it in my arm. And it's like, oh, your turn. And he puts it on himself. And it's like, that worked. That worked this summer.
Nice. So. You see, I hate sun cream. I hate the feel of it. I hate it just having it all on my hands. Yeah. Like, it's just this sticky, horrible.
You've got to go for a spray one. The thick cream stuff, which seems that even if you're rubbing it in for eternity, it never goes into the
Have you had any of that 24-hour stuff?
No, there's no 24. It can't work for 24 hours.
Yeah, or it might be like 12-hour. I don't know, but like we used to put it on the kids for the nursery. It's like 20 quid a bottle. It's expensive. But
better work for that.
Doing all right through the podcast, didn't I? So
oh yeah. This is where the big bucks are.
Yeah. You bought that out of
Jeff Bezos looking on.
You only have to put it on once in a day. So like, sod it. We'll just pay 20 quid for this stuff.
Well, yeah, exactly. But that stuff was so like oily and horrible. Didn't like that. So I will follow Connor's advice and get mittens.
Yeah.
Then just put them on.
Yeah. Okay. The problem with sun cream is when you get to like the neck. I always find my kids anyway, like always squirming, like, oh, it's too funny.
Yes, yeah.
And that's not what I want when we're already 5 minutes late for school.
Yeah. And then if they've got a white t-shirt on, it suddenly gets that sort of like yellow, like mankiness caused by the suntan cream around it, which never comes off, not even in the washing machine. So it's like, it's properly irritating.
Apparently, I think that's aluminium.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
So this might have been one of those, Facebook things that you see, and it's not. It definitely isn't deodorant. When that, like, you wear a white t-shirt and that goes yellow under the arms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Apparently that's aluminium, which they put in to stop you sweating.
What? So I'm clogging my pores with metal, basically. Great.
What does that make? Magnetic?
That's something I've not tried.
Because that'd be dangerous if you worked at like a scrapyard and they've got one of those huge magnets to pick up the cars and put them into the scrappy machine, which I think is the technical term, because it could do that. It could pick up the car, and then you could find yourself going, oh no, and then being attached to the car and the magnet by your armpit and being crushed.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, or any of those tourist shops in any given country. The first 3 rows of the shop are filled with magnets.
Yeah,
and you walk in and you're like, Venice.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need
that.
That's
terrible. But a good way to entertain your kids, rather than being, one of the people who are at the restaurant with just shoving the iPad in front of their eyes. You just go along with your magnetic arms and get some of those alphabet letters you put on the fridge, and the kids can make words. So
nice.
Yeah, perfect. Keep them entertained. Let's have one more. Would you rather have everyone you know be able to read your thoughts, or everyone you know be able to read your internet history?
Oh,
Oh,
that's one, isn't it?
I feel like I've got no poker face at all, so people can read my thoughts. But yeah, like these days, I'm so boring. Have a look at my internet history. I mean,
Yeah, I think I'm pretty vanilla with it.
yeah. You mean you'd see some weird Googles of, you probably see how paranoid I am inside, like of stupid things, or actually how dumb I am. Often I just Google how to spell things before I tweet. That's another one that a secret would be exposed if you saw my internet history.
Oh, Sparky, you've taken this in a really innocent, naive direction.
Yeah, but you know,
oh man, like I'm, yeah.
Like when you were like, yeah, people can see my internet history. You know, I'm quite boring. I just Google how words are spelled.
and,
Oh, is
and
that,
when Jack,
that's all you do? Okay, right. Wow.
when Jack
I guess
was talking about vanilla,
you're not
he was
married yet,
talking
are
about,
you?
Jack was talking about Googling missionary position, missionary porn.
How to spell hentai? Is that how it works? I don't know how it works. That's what I meant, guys. No, yeah. I don't think there's anything too weird. I reckon everyone else's is more weird than mine, and that's how I convince myself to do weird searches sometimes when I'm looking at that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, that's all right. I bet people are looking at worse, right, Jack?
Oh, apparently so. Oh, God, I miss Brad.
Well, Brad definitely is. I mean, that makes that exactly a fine excuse.
God, by the look of shock and scaredness on Jack's face, I'm glad we can't read his thoughts at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think I'll keep my thoughts private.
Clear cash, clear cash, clear cash. This is Loose Dads from Dadsnet. On the way, we're going to be talking about what's going on in the news and how it affects parents. I'm sure you could probably guess what we might be talking about. That's coming up in a little bit on Loose Dads.
Intermission.
This is Loose Dads from Dadsnet. How you doing? I'm Jim. There's Sparky and Jack here. Brad's not here again. He genuinely is scuba diving rather than doing the podcast.
Do you think he's gone full, full wetsuit? Like, do you think he's in the full kit? Yeah, Brad wouldn't do anything by halves, would he?
No, I think as a rugged South African man, he's in budgie smugglers.
Oh yeah, and just a snorkel, or he just takes a deep breath in and then just like, you know.
Yeah,
what's it called when they just go under the water for ages picking shells and stuff? Like, is he one of those, like free diver? Like that's Brad.
It's not real diving if it's not free diving.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got air coming in from a tank, you really are cheating.
Pussies, like, come on.
If I was going to do it, I'd be wearing one of those massive, gigantic outfits with the big dome head, and you know,
yeah.
You're
metal
attached
in
by
your
basically
shoes.
a straw. There's a hose or a straw or something going up to the top. You know, old school style, like that bloke used to run the marathon in.
Yeah, back when you were in your 40s.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
Those good old days. Should we look inside the news? Let's see what's going on, right? Okay, in the news in the last week, I mean, there's been one story really dominating everything. Obviously, it's the death of Queen Elizabeth, and there has been a lot of coverage of that kind of all over the place, and you can't really miss it. So it's had kind of strange effects that you didn't really expect. Like my kids' football was cancelled on Saturday, which seemed strange. There's a lot of people going, we are doing this out of respect, and you're thinking, I don't know, she quite likes sport, doesn't she? I don't think she'd want kids to not play football on a Saturday, but apparently so. British Cycling have said today they don't think people should go cycling during the funeral, and then people went, probably still a free country, we could do what we want, and they've taken that back. There's no comedy on the BBC for a fortnight. So if you were like me, no. And they're not even uploading any new stuff to iPlayer. So if you were looking for the final of Canada's drag race, then unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a couple of weeks and hope that there's no spoilers from overseas. In Norwich, they closed bike racks out of respect,
Mhm.
and put a sign on it saying, "If you leave your bike here, it may be removed." Which, to be honest, seems more disrespectful. That they're going to have extra teams on looking for bikes in bike racks that they've closed. But there we go. And Centre Parks have probably scored quite a big own goal, even though they
Ooh.
thought, I think they were scoring quite a kind of, they were hitting the mark when they said that they were going to close on Monday for the Queen's funeral, and they're going to turf out people who were there on the Sunday night, and so you can't come back till Tuesday. So there's people in the middle of holidays. They're just going to have to go and find somewhere else to stay. So Centre Park's going, we're closing completely, but hopefully other hotels are open so you can go and stay there for a night. See
Hold
you
on, Jim. You're
later.
not being completely fair with that because they are giving 30% of customers' money back for a night. So I mean, it's ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous.
And 30% of a stay at Centre Parks is obviously the whatever the Euro Millions jackpot is.
Yeah, a quarter of your mortgage at least. Like, exactly. No activities though, Jim. That's not activities included, pal.
No, exactly. So there's been all this stuff. It's been everywhere. It's been in all the newspapers, been on all the radio, been on the kind of TV and stuff. So there will have been a time when maybe your kids will have come across this, and it might even be their first experience of death and mourning. It might not be. But so, I mean, have either of you had to have like conversations with your kids about death, or have you had to do it in the past at all? Anyway, is there a good way of doing it, a good way of broaching the subject, an age appropriate way?
In the past, I have, yes. I think it would be fair to say my children were not overly aware of the Queen, and I hope that doesn't get us cancelled. My children were not massive royalists, so this hasn't particularly affected them. You know, they're 3 and 4. But in the past, the way I've what we've said to them, you know, based on things that we've seen in kids' books, is that if someone dies, it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to miss them. And when you miss them, you think about the good times you've had with them, and you remember the good times, and that's, you know, that, and then you feel happy again. Or you can still feel sad, but that's the way to deal with it, is you remember the good times. There was a death in the area, and I didn't know him overly well, but we went to his funeral, and afterwards Jake said, "Oh, where were you?" And I said, "We were at this funeral." And he said, "Can you tell me about," he said, "Oh, yeah, very sad. Can you tell me about the good times you had together?" And I was like, "Oh,
Oh no."
well, I didn't." So what I did was I started reciting his eulogy, bits that I remembered from his eulogy, that I had no clue about until I went to the funeral.
Look at now, Jack. You see, you've dug yourself a hole there, mate.
I know. I'm like, oh, yeah, he was good at chess. Really good at chess was old Phil, and but like Jake was not satisfied with one thing. It was like, "Oh, can you tell me another memory you've got, another good time you had?"
Because this is the thing. I thought you'd nailed it. I thought, what a great way of putting it. That's brilliant. But yeah. Unfortunately, when you go to a funeral of someone you don't know that well,
It's someone I probably should have known better.
Right.
So
okay.
Bit awkward.
At my granddad's funeral years and years ago, this is way before kids, there was a bit in the eulogy where it said, and he loved to travel, but he would never go to Ireland. And then he moved on, and I was a bit like, what? That was something that I didn't know. Now, his surname was O'Reilly, so I didn't know whether he had intended to go to Ireland, but he'd never got to go there because he died before he had the chance, or whether he refused to go to Ireland. But
and that we're never
I didn't want to bother. didn't want to bother my grandma with it at the time.
No.
It wasn't really the time and place. And I asked my mum, and she was like, I don't know, no idea. I've never, don't know his thoughts on Ireland ever. So
Leave
to
an
this
enigma.
day, I don't know whether he was just really anti-Irish or he really pro-Irish, but never managed to visit. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's a great enigma to be left at the in your granddad's memory. So, I mean, something that you didn't know about him, Jim, maybe. I went a lot easier route than you, Jack. Like when it came to on Thursday, when it was all like the rolling news of the Queen. Jackson's one of his new favorite sentences, "Daddy, what you doing?" Because I had it. Obviously, there's no way we're not having blooming Peppa Pig or whatever nonsense is on the telly off the screen.
Yeah.
So I was watching on my iPhone or the up to date stuff on the Queen, and I said, "Oh, it's the Queen, son. She's poorly. And then
Really boring.
then that was just basically I didn't use like she's died or anything. Like when that got announced, it was right by his bedtime, so we just moved on with that. And then the next day, on the Saturday, the King was there, and I was like, "Oh well, the Queen's gone away now, Jackson, and the King's in charge," and that's where I've left it. And then he keeps seeing pictures of the Queen around because they're everywhere at the moment. He's like, "Oh, it's the Queen! Oh, it's the Queen! She's gone away! And so,
So your answer to how do you talk to your children about death is don't.
right? Like he's 2.5. He's just getting his head around the potty. I don't need to confuse him with that at the moment. But I mean, I did read a very interesting article written by a certain broadcaster of this podcast about how to talk to your children about death, available on the Dadsnet website. And I thought that was actually really good, Jim. And why don't you express some of those ideas with us right now?
Well, unfortunately, the first point that I made in that article was use the correct terms and don't use euphemisms like "gone away" or "passed away."
Yeah, I hadn't read it at that point, but
I think the age of Jackson, I think is difficult. This is kind of, I think, for older kids who are sort of asking questions about death, I guess. And so that's one of the ideas is, you say death and you use that word, and it's tough especially if you're talking about a relative or something. For adults, it's tough to use that word sometimes, but it can be confusing for kids otherwise, who are a little bit older and you think they could handle it. If you say someone's passed away or we've lost someone, it can be a bit confusing. They often don't understand, and you've kind of got to be there and just keep reminding them. Quite often, they'll say, "Oh, is he coming back?" And you think, "Well, no, he's dead. That he's not coming back." Which we had with our dog when our dog got put down.
Oh yeah.
I went to go and take him, and my daughter was really upset. She understood. She got it because she was 7 at the time. My son was 4, and he was just a bit too young. And so I came back, and he was like, and we'd gone, "I'm going to take him away. He won't come back. They're going to put him to sleep. They're going to." I didn't say kill him, because I know that's a difficult one, isn't it? Because to put something down as well is ambiguous for children. But yeah, basically we told him he was going to be dead. But still, I came back and he went, "Well, where's Alfie then?" I was like, "No, he's not alive anymore."
I'm really surprised that we didn't have any more than just sort of like, the Queen's died from our kids, because when we went camping this summer, we had to have a full funeral for a worm.
Oh, really?
That was already dead when they found it.
Okay.
And they were playing with this dead worm, this like crispy dead worm. And like, "Oh, should we just throw it in the bush?" "No, we can't." I'm like, "I think it's dead." "Oh God."
Oh.
It's dead.
What did you say in the obituary about the worm, Jack? What did you learn about? What were your favourite memories that you discussed in that obituary?
No, we did. We had to go through the happy times. Yeah, do you remember when you found him and then you were playing with him in the camper van?
It is a really terrifying subject, though, death with a child. And I'll never forget. Before even Jackson was born, we were in town at this event where kids could go to, and I just remember, how kids just randomly ask questions at times, and it was like the kid, maybe 7, I don't know, just came over to his mum, who was sitting at the table, just got some lunch. And he goes, "Mummy, what's the saddest thing in the world?" And she just went, "Death." And it was the kids, like, I can still see the "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Look in the kid's eyes, like, what the hell? And it's like, you see, there's being honest is important, but this kid was not ready for that answer at a play day thing that we're at, So it's a very dangerous subject. So going away, I mean, at 2.5 is enough for Jackson. He can, when he needs to properly understand. That's what we got.
It is strange.
For, right?
They can. Well, the cats. I genuinely think animals are a great way of getting them used to it, and maybe for some people, this news story has been a way to introduce their kids to death in a kind of way that doesn't impact them directly. So you take these opportunities, but yeah, like I mean, your pets will die, won't they? And so
we tried it. We tried it with pets. We got sea monkeys. They're still going.
Oh,
they
really?
live forever, mate.
Clinging on. I've got like 3 sea monkeys that are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Sea monkeys. I forgot about those. You just get them in a little sachet, don't you? And just pour them into the water. I remember them. I was obsessed with them as a kid.
Well, yeah, I mean, then you talk about wanting someone to die. That's different, isn't it? That's a very different story. That's not one we should be teaching our kids.
No.
Jack's kids are the craze of Norfolk, though. So, I mean, surely they'll be coming home soon. Like, "Dad, I want to explain how we're going to see this person off. And we're going to see him away."
Yeah, I need someone to be gone away.
They drunk my chocolate milkshake, and I haven't got any happy memories with them. I need to sort it, Dad. How am I going to sort it?
Sparky, do you have a news story this week?
Yeah, it is. And because I feel like we're being completely, like I say, all of these news stories coming out about the Queen, with this news being everywhere. So my news story is Queen related, but I thought we could all relate to it in some way as well, because did you know that Her Majesty the Queen once was the owner of a 24-karat gold Nintendo Wii, and she was absolutely obsessed with Wii bowling? Like, let's normalize the monarchy. Like, how amazing is that? Like, and I was into Wii bowling.
Anyone who's seen the documentary film King Ralph knows that you can do bowling in Buckingham Palace without having to have a computer game. You can use priceless vases. But once again, I remember now I've brought that reference up, and neither of you have seen King Ralph. Have you?
No. But I have seen this news story.
I do remember the Wii though. So.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like, my nan got into the Wii, and and she was into a bit of Wii tennis. But the Queen, apparently, the now Prince of Wales.
That's just tennis for old people, isn't it?
Well, yeah, no, Nan borrowed my Wii, and they put it in like the sort of coffee morning room. Sorry.
It's a little tennis joke for you. Then.
I'm trying to do the news seriously about the Queen, guys.
Sorry,
but yeah. 24-karat Nintendo Wii, by the way. She got it when Prince William got one for Christmas, and I just imagine them all like
family gifts. It. Family gifts, was it?
Well, not the 24-karat gold one. Someone
everyone gets a 24-karat gold. Did you see they were giving away energy bills on this morning? Anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway. Let's not get political.
Did see that, but I mean that's
according to one newscaster, that's irrelevant now. So there we go. He has apologized though for that, and he's apologized for making what sounded like a comment that said that people's financial suffering wasn't relevant. Anyway, Jack, do you have any news?
Yes, I do. Police seize thousands of donkey penises in smuggling operation bust.
Okay. All right. Thousands of donkey penises.
Thousands of donkey penises.
Yeah, you've said. So presumably they're using these for some purpose.
Yeah.
What is the purpose?
Well, it's not very clear from this story.
Right. Okay.
What is clear is that they seized them because at customs they had declared that these were cow penises.
Oh, okay. And so,
but they weren't. They were donkey penises.
And so that's the problem. Not the
Yes.
fact that someone was bringing penises through customs.
No,
It was the wrong animal. And
The
how
wrong
did the
animal.
customs people know that the alleged cow penises were actually donkey penises?
smaller.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
See, this is why.
Also, they're not going to be cow penises, are they? That's not possible.
Bull penises.
Yeah.
Fine. I did say. Did I say male cow?
I don't know how, Jack. How do you? This is why we can't search your internet history. Going back to the earlier question, because how do you find a news story like this? Like this isn't on the Metro, is it? This is not popped up on Metro.
Bovine penises.
Right.
How do you think they make Bovril?
Oh,
Anyway. Anyway, they were being smuggled out of Nigeria. Now, did you know? Another little fact for you here. Donkeys are almost extinct in Nigeria.
No.
No.
Is it because people keep cutting off
Because
their penises?
people keep cutting off their penises and their skin.
Right.
Their skin gets exported to China, where they use it in medicines, and they can't use their own donkeys because they killed them all
Wow.
For their skin.
for their
Right,
for
yeah.
their skin and or penises. I don't know
feel
where
like-
the penises come into it.
I had I know it's not time for the dad joke off yet, but I had a gag building in my head. But I don't know. Now you've gone and taken it a bit serious because of all this animal genocide.
The donkey penises were making you gag, were they?
No, what I was going to say is, you said they were circumcised, were you?
Oh, I like it. I like it.
So let's rebuild
Come on.
this situation.
Hey, come on, give me, come on.
Can we'll go back to this situation, okay? So
Yes.
are they caught on the way out of Nigeria or the way into another country?
On the way out of Nigeria to China.
Okay, so out of Nigeria, they're looking at the paperwork. It says 1,000 cow penises. They're going, well, it means bull, obviously. Ridiculous. All right, brilliant. Well, let's have a look just to make sure. Then they see them and they go, wait a sec, I've seen these before. These are a donkey.
Okay, if there's one thing I know in this world, it's the difference between a cow penis and a donkey penis.
I mean, they were going to go on the Nigerian version of Mastermind with that subject, really.
Guys, one of my favorite programs on UK Gold is like Border Force, but like Nigerian Border Force sounds like a good spin-off series. Normally they're getting like cocaine or, loads of illegally smuggled cigarettes. Tonight's episode, 100 donkey dicks seized at customs like that. There's your tease. I mean, come on.
And you know how
Donkeys.
oh,
Dong
good.
keys.
Dong.
Do you know how they normally smuggle donkey penises out of Nigeria?
And donkey vaginas.
No, under lots of pots of moisturizer.
Hey. Maybe that is what they are being made into in China. Maybe those moisturizers I was taking to Scotland were full.
So at this point,
Of
we'd
vitamin
normally go
D.
to Brad for his story, but I'll be honest, I think the Brad topics there has been covered. I think that was the Brad
Yeah.
story without
He,
Brad
did,
having
he
to
didn't
be
even
here.
send that to me. He didn't even send that to me.
Jack, you are the honorary Brad tonight somehow. Like you really are stepping in. You stepping up to that role.
Cheers.
On the way,
Thank you.
we're going to be. I mean, it's the role no one wanted. On the way, we're going to be talking about the big dad joke off. We're going to do a little joke off, a couple of dad jokes for you, and then we're going to answer some big questions as well from Dadsnet members. It's all coming up on Loose Dads from Dadsnet.
Insert production here.
Yeah, this is Loose Dads from Dadsnet. I'm Jim. I've got Jack and I've got Sparky. You can join us on and tell us exactly how much you like us by helping support the show and paying for one of the different tiers where you get loads of great bonuses. You get like video chats with the Loose Dads, you get bonus content, you will get all sorts of other stuff as well that will make it worthwhile adding a little bit of cash to your listening pleasure every week. And you'll keep supporting the show and mean that we can actually keep doing it, which would be nice. wouldn't it?
I would.
I mean,
I just-
quality. You just get more quality donkey cock sort of
Yeah.
content. If that raised a smile, that's sign up, get involved.
Well, let's use this opportunity to shout out executive producer Connor.
Oh yeah. Hi,
who
Connor.
is listening live, of course. Never misses an episode unless football's on. Who, as one of his perks, will be receiving a Loose Dads t-shirt very soon.
Hey.
Hey, do we get Loose Dad t-shirts as well, or is it just for people who've paid?
No, just for people who've paid.
Oh, okay.
There you go, Connor. Super exclusive. So exclusive. The host
So exclusive.
don't get
We're
it.
not allowed one. Right, brilliant. Right then, let's lighten the mood. Let's have some dad jokes. Quick fire. Let's go with Jack first.
What word starts with an E and ends with an E, but only has one letter in it?
I know the answer to this. It's envelope.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's very good.
Thank you.
Sparky.
Okay, you ready for this one, guys? What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K?
I don't know. What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K?
HDMI.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common? They're
No.
both Paris sites.
Nice.
Hey.
Nice. Can I do another one?
Yeah,
on.
go for it. Why not?
Is butt cheeks one word, or should I spread them apart?
Is that how far
Okay.
it went when they had all those moisturizers? Is that what the customs officer said?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. The moisturizers really helped that stage.
Let's do the big
Okay.
question. Let's do
No,
the
no,
big
no, no.
question.
Whilst we're in this realm of toilet humor, guys, can you believe it? Right, I ate 4 cans of alphabeti spaghetti this week. Should have seen the size of my vowel movement.
No.
Come on.
Oh, and if we're all doing 2, how do you find Will Smith in the snow? You look for the Fresh Prince.
Guys, I'd just like to say Connor's left a comment saying, if this is what my hard work pays for, then I may cancel it.
No, fair play. Absolutely fair play. All right. Question of the week.
Sparky, can you sing the production, please?
It's the big question of the week.
Oh, yeah. The little girl. Yeah.
So we have these forums, the Dadsnet, and they're on Facebook, and people can go on them and they can rant and rave, and they can ask questions, and they can post memes, whatever you want to do. It's an open forum for people in a private group, if that makes sense. I think it does.
Openly private.
It's openly private. So basically, once you're in there, you can do what you want, but it's good because, your other half can't see, basically. That's what it is, isn't it?
Just always deliver it like that, Jim. You can have a rant about your other half, but she can't see it as long as she's not in the group.
There we go.
And everyone goes, yeah, mine does that too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That tends to be how most of it goes. But anyway, so we'll take some of the questions from there and keep them anonymous, obviously. And then we try and answer them on this show in, some kind of style. So this one, Dad Mind, how long do you wait at a pub or restaurant watching other customers who arrived after you be served before you walk out? It's a kind of family related, isn't it? Because if you're in a restaurant waiting with kids and they've got bored of moving the alphabet around on your magnet, if you didn't listen to the earlier bit of this show, that will make no sense. And how long do you sit there? How long, or what do you do? Have you been in that situation? Because for me, I read that question and I thought, yes, I'm quite a laid back person, but when that starts happening, I get that kind of horrible feeling in my gut going, oh, I can't stand this. It's not good.
Yeah. I feel injustice is like really annoying. And so, yeah, and again, I love a queue. I'm quintessentially British. So I do find it frustrating if I feel like the queue is not being like worked out in a
Honoured.
fair, honoured in
Yeah,
a fair
yeah.
way. And in my mind, I'm like, well, why are they more important? What's going on here? And I'm not saying you should get any extra special treatment with a kid here. Only at airports should you not have to queue in the passport line, right? But in restaurants, you shouldn't get extra special. But I feel like, I mean, waiters and waitresses, you can tell the ones who are familiar, used to being around kids, and ones that don't have a clue because they will just ignore you. And yeah, I find that frustrating. I'm like, come on, throw me a freaking bone here. I'm trying to keep a kid under control. Please come and serve me. Let's get this process over as quickly as possible for everybody, so I can leave and take a screaming toddler out of your restaurant. I can eat and not be hungry anymore, and we all win. You get money, like, surely, right?
Yeah, I had a situation the other day while I was in Norfolk. Actually, I went to a restaurant in Norwich, and we ordered, and the kids were really hungry. Like, when they're just about to kick off, they were tired and they were hungry. And we'd been on the beach maybe that day or something, and they were just ready for food. And there was one point where the waitress who'd served us, she was standing there sort of chatting with her mate, and all of a sudden she just did this kind of like rabbit in the headlights look, checked her pad, and then ran over and obviously put the order in that was our order that we'd been waiting for ages, that she hadn't actually put into the kitchen yet. And she never admitted this, but the fact that the food then took another however long, half an hour, while we tried to kind of entertain these very tired and hungry kids, that suggested that was the one that she'd forgotten, unfortunately. But didn't say anything because I'm British, so there you go.
Okay, that's the other thing, though, isn't it? That battling that I've got to say something, but I can't say something because
well, because one, you're British, and two, you don't want them to spit in your food. And
There
I don't know how common that is. I mean, it's like a trope, isn't it? When people talk about if you get kind of a bit shifty and that, then you get spit in your food. I don't know how likely it is, but I don't want to take that risk, to be honest. Are you two complainers in restaurants?
Not really. Not really, because I can't be bothered with the hassle.
It's a bit annoying, isn't it, when you're eating with the family and one meal isn't that, it's like cold or something. You don't want to send that back. Then everyone else is eating and then you're waiting. And then eventually they all want to go and you've only just started.
Yeah. No, I'm not much of a complainer, but Danny will give them some passive-aggressive hell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As they're walking past. Well, this is a cold dinner that I've got here, isn't it?
I love how badass Danny is, to be fair. I witnessed Danny's badassness at Legoland Windsor when someone tried to jump the queue and she was ready to gouge their eyes out with her bare hands. And I was like, I can respect that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's magnificent. No one, they were breaking queue etiquette. But I don't know. I try not to complain. I try not to be fussy. Like I try and I think I'm reasonable. Like I've worked as a waiter before, so I always try to think like, okay, how irritating was it always when people moaned at me?
Yeah.
Like, so I try and think like that. But then sometimes when I'm hungry, I'm like, sort it. And you can gob in it if you want, because I'm so hungry, I'll eat it anyway. Like I don't care.
Happily eat your spit.
Yeah, like as long as I don't know it's there, it's not stringy. Like I'll just eat it. Like
We've all been on dates like that.
I have a situation at the moment, not in a restaurant, but we have some renovations going on, which I know that's Brad's thing, isn't it? To have renovations.
Don't be greedy.
We're having our loft converted, or rather, we were having our loft converted until a week ago, which was the last time the builder actually came to do any work. And the thing is that he gave us a date, and he stuck to the date when he was going to start. But he's obviously got loads of other jobs on because he keeps nipping away. He's averaging a day and a half's work a week. It's really slow going.
Wow.
And I think the problem is, and I've kind of checked with other people, it's like, well, you're not being forceful enough.
Yeah, you're being too nice now, Jim.
Yeah.
You've got to slam it down.
Because he's obviously going to go to the person giving him the most grief.
Yeah.
But also by that token, I've only got half a roof and I've got my two kids sleeping in the same bed and I've got like kind of real open walkways at the moment where he's half finished some stuff. So what I don't want to do is when I do see him or ring him up or whatever and give him a piece of my mind and him go, see you later. I'll not come back. Come and get my tools. See ya.
It's
Can you
so
give him
hard.
like a deadline?
When it's at your own house as well, it's like you've got nowhere to retreat to. They're in your house and you want to have a go at someone, and it's because I need you to fix my house. It's like I understand your position, but yeah, you need to threat him with trustedtrader.com or whatever they are. You know, like, I'm going to report you, mate. Like,
This is
pull your finger out.
This is completely unacceptable. I won't take it anymore. I'm really disappointed and cross with you. Would you like a cup of tea, and how many sugars would you like? I'll come and bring it up. Okay, nice.
Thank you. Please, can you finish this as soon as possible?
Right, another question. My girlfriend's mom always says her daughter is too pretty for me. My girlfriend doesn't say anything either while in the same room. She just laughs. First time I let it slide as a joke, but it happens frequently now. We're about to have a baby any day. Thoughts? Question mark.
Oh, wow.
Nightmare mother-in-laws.
Gosh.
What are we thinking?
Can you make like a joke about, I don't know where she gets it from, or
Yeah, she doesn't get it from you. That's a great
yeah.
one. Or, well, you know, so now you know how I feel because you're punching with your other half, aren't you? And you point out your father-in-law, big him up. He's only ever going to side with you if you're giving him a compliment, because she sounds like quite a cow anyway. So he's probably not getting any compliments of her.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know, go down that path.
I'd give it back. Like, yeah, if sounds like she's not fostering a great relationship with you, so.
And if your missus isn't sticking up for you, then you just sort of like, you know, just try and turn it into a joke. Like, well, you know, she's the beauty part of the relationship and I'm obviously the brains. So, I mean, the kid's in safe hands. Like, I know you just find ways of sort of getting, supporting yourself in there.
She's gorgeous, but she's thick as pig shit.
Yeah. But she's got you as her parents. So, struggle.
She comes with baggage.
Yeah. Like that. Like, what are you supposed to say to that? Like,
I don't know. It's one of those
her face is pretty, but her body's a four.
It's one of those situations, though, isn't it? Where, like, you'd seem the bad guy if you just went, "Oh, shut up! Oh, stop being such a bitch!" Like, you'd seem bad, but they started it, and they were really rude at the start.
Like, it's not in the same vein, but my mother-in-law used to always tell me how tired I look.
Right.
Like, always, oh, you look terrible. You look so tired. Oh, you look so tired. And I think it was coming from a place of like love, like concern, like, oh, are you getting enough sleep?
You're working hard, Jack.
Yeah, you need to look after yourself. But I had a new baby and I took it as, you look like crap. I was like, I actually don't want to hear that right now. So I did just have a word with Danny and go, can you tell her to stop doing that?
Did you tell her to stop picking on me, please?
I don't want to offend her because I think it's coming from a place of love, but it's a bit of a confidence knock.
That sort of I think you can call them out on that. Like, we're all adults. Like, just sort of go, like, leave off, will you? You know, good job she's not as shallow as you or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. But
Yeah, because if it's either an insult, in which case, like, insult back, or it's supposed to be like banter.
But it's falling wrong, yeah.
In which case, banter back with an insult. Insult your mother-in-law. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, that's the great Loose Dad's advice. Well, I mean, this should be brilliant.
Let us know you're going with that.
That's what we're known for.
I'm not going to ask Jack this because I know the answer is no, but Sparky might be yes with you. Are you watching the new series of Married at First Sight UK?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so the mother-in-law that I'm thinking of when I hear this is the mother-in-law of the mum of the woman who married the bloke who's a stripper.
Absolutely, like, she is punching so much in every way, that woman, and that the mother-in-law, a knobhead. Like, I'm angry at that. He's such a nice guy, or he seems like such a nice guy, and he's professionally making money. But absolutely, I hated the way she was towards him at the wedding, and she made an instant judgment of him. And
at the wedding,
it's not fair. Well, Jack,
it was a wedding.
It was a wedding, mate. But don't even get me started, Jim, because if we want to go and do a sideline on this, Whitney is the worst human being to ever walk the planet, and like, get off my TV. Like, she makes me shout at my TV. But yeah, that sort of standard of rudeness. Sort of level.
Maybe this should be the next bonus episode.
Yeah,
for
I
our
would
Patreon.
happily talk Married at First Sight UK.
Okay, we're gonna sort that out. An episode
talk
just
for hours
you
about
two
Yes, Jim.
talking about god awful.
Jack, if you watched it, you'd be triggered by Whitney. You would 100%. Anyone listening to this podcast right now, put maths on for one episode. Look up Whitney. You'd be triggered by the way she behaves.
Maths.
That's how the cool kids say it.
Did you hear like is it the Australian Married at First Sight women are earning a load of money on OnlyFans now?
Are they?
No, I've not heard of this. Honestly. Quickly deletes Google history. Actually, you could catch me out after all.
Clever. This is Loose Dads from Dadsnet. Thank you very much for listening. Next week, maybe Brad will be back. Maybe he won't be back. Who knows? He could be going aquaplaning or skydiving, or aquaplaning is what you do in a car, isn't it? When you that's not a sport. Well, I suppose in a way it is a sport. Yeah, but anyway, some of us will be back next week at least. Thank you very much for listening. Make sure you watch our live stream every Tuesday night, 8:30, but you can catch up on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts as well. And you can leave us a review. Do it on Apple Podcasts because that really helps boost us. So 5 stars and a lovely review. That'd be nice. And tell a friend about it as well so that they can experience it and that we can get loads more listeners and look really popular and impressive at Dadsnet Towers. Thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you, Sparky.
Thanks, gents.
And we will see you next week on Loose Dads.
Production.